G'day mates, it's your host Mary O'Neill Phillips and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast.
Drake White, welcome to Country Outdoors Podcast.
What's up?
This has been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's been good.
You know, we've done different interviews together over the years. A lot of people don't know how long we've known each other. It's been a long, 10 years at this point.
Yeah, when was it?
We met 2016 in Australia, CMC.
Yeah.
When you were playing for CMC Rocks, and you were one of like my first friends when I moved over here. You gave me good career advice and stuff like that, and it's just, but so much has changed in both of our lives since then. A lot for you, and I kind of want to dig into all of that and then get to where things are at today, career-wise, personally, health, and then obviously outdoor passions and how that all really connects to your project today with Hunts the Healing.
Yeah.
You know, when I first met you, it was when Making Me Look Good Again and all of that was like really booming. You were doing these like full intensity shows, going around everywhere, and then the stroke happened. Some people might know about that, some people might not, but I'd love for you to go into what that journey was like for you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, as you said, everything was kind of rocking and rolling, and we were doing what we love to do and bouncing all over Australia and you know, opening up for people like Zach Brown and Eric Church and all these folks, and just kind of doing what you kind of find yourself like, man, I'm living this life, I'm doing the things, and just writing songs, and was living fast and got a headache, and the headache put me in an MRI machine. The MRI showed this mass of veins and arteries called an AVM, which stands for an arterial venous malformation. And that AVM was the size of a lime, which is a big one, right behind my right ear, which is the mobile cortex of your left side. And I was born with it. It formed in the embryonic stage, but I was very lucky because most of the time, people find out about these things, they hemorrhage and they die. A lot of people die at the age of, 50, 60, 70, older than, I was 34 when I got the headache. And the reason that I got the headache is because the neurologist said I'd worn my bumpers out, and that's a layman's country term of the way that I sing, the way that I push, the way that I go. You understand, because you've seen me play a lot. My blood pressure goes up.
Right.
Everything's popping. Veins are popping. Things are popping. The energy, and I wore those brakes out, and it ultimately saved my life because I wasn't in the field hunting. I wasn't in Bahrain in front of a bunch of troops a million miles from a Trauma One hospital. I was actually, in a place where I could seek help very, very quickly. So I got the headache, got the MRI. It showed this wad of veins and arteries. The neurologist said that good news is we can embolize this thing through a process going through your femoral artery with a catheter up to the back of your neck and access it and squeeze it full of this glue called onyx. And he said the only part, the bad part is it's going to take like 8 of these surgeries.
Oh my gosh.
But I said, can I play? Can I still play my shows? And he said, yeah, you should be able to, armed with some blood pressure medicine, we'll perform these on Mondays, and we'll do one a month. And you can rest Tuesday and Wednesday, and by Thursday, you can be out on the road performing. Great. So we go play 40 shows in 2019, 50 shows, and we were very careful, and we were doing all this stuff. And about the 50th show, Roanoke, Virginia popped up on my schedule, and we took the stage, and three songs in, I start playing this tune, and just literally felt everything flip upside down, like the sky went to the ground went to the sky, and my foot felt like I had a bowling ball on it, and these cotton candy skies were just kind of swirling around, and everybody was talking real slow, like I was like in that that scene in Old School where that guy gets shot in the neck with a dart and everything's just super slow. It sounded just like that, and I heard sounded like a gunshot go off in my head, like snap.
Wow.
And yeah, had a stroke on stage. That stroke set my head on fire. Like the level of pain was 100 out of 10. I mean, it was.
Do you know if you were screaming when that was happening?
No, I wasn't screaming. I was focusing on breathing because
You knew what it was.
I knew what it was, and my team acted really quick and Alex had prepared a folder, my wife, because she's top one, and she prepared a folder to give in case this ever happened, the 2% chance. And they handed it to the EMS people. EMS people acted really quick and went straight. The hospital was 3 minutes away, and they got it stopped bleeding by this medicine that coagulated the brain bleed, and basically saved my life, but saved my voice, saved my ability to speak, my ability to think. And that was this part. So I've had the stroke, I'm in the hospital. This is 20, 30, 40 minutes after. And it's a hospital like Vanderbilt where people are like learning how to be doctors. So there's a lot of people in and out. And it was here where I heard them talking about putting in a port. And I had done a lot of research on ports and sepsis setting in and brain dead situations and vegetable situations. I know that's not politically correct.
That's
but like,
all right.
Where I was like, would have to be, basically, I'd be paralyzed the rest of my life. And so I'm screaming inside my body, like I feel like I'm locked in a cage and I can't communicate with them, even though like I'm fully there, fully hearing what they hear. And that's when literally I saw these 4 figures in the corners of the room. I saw like these angels in the corner of the room, and they were just so peaceful, and everything was so like peaceful and everything. I just knew everything. I didn't know everything was going to be all right, but for some reason when you breathe, I remembered learning that a breath sounds like Yahweh when you're breathing. And so I just kept on breathing in and out and saying that name over and over and over. And I said, as long as I'm saying this name, I'm alive. And later to find out, when we got home months later, Alex said that she was on her way to the hospital right after finding out that I'd had the stroke. And she prayed for angels to surround the corners of the room. And that was those angels. That was what happened. And those angels guided those doctors to not put a port in, to give me this coagulant that saved my life. And I didn't see Jesus that day, but I saw the back of this bright light and this thing, and was just like, it was the most chill, like calm, cool thing ever. And I wasn't scared, I wasn't hurting, I wasn't in pain, I wasn't anything. And it was just like, I was just taken care of. And I went through this, I went through that for a reason, and I'm slowly starting to understand that. And there's definitely frustrations that we'll get into, I'm sure, and I'm super competitive still, and I'm super, jacked to be here and be doing this and be out here writing and singing and all this. But that changed my life and my perspective of, if I get out of this hospital, or when I get out of this hospital, I will never gripe about the little things. I'll always go out there and hammer it and be thankful that I'm up here. And that's kind of what it's done with my music. And yeah.
That's good. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, it's cool. Like, I mean, I have witnessed a complete, obviously you're still Drake, but like definitely have changed a lot. I think you're a lot more vulnerable for starters. And I think your story has impacted a lot of people. It's been, over the last couple of years to see you retraining yourself how to play the guitar, how to walk. I remember even when the pandemic was on and you were doing those concerts at your barn, I mean, you were still very much learning I mean, it was pretty fresh.
Yeah.
Like, talk me through a little bit of that process, getting your physicality, your strength back again.
Well, I'm still in that process. Like it's more stamina stuff now. Like I had to rebuild my shoulder. It was sublexing and falling in and out of place. And those shows, I mean, you and Zach were part of them, you know, and they gave me something to look forward to. Hunting gave me something to look forward to. 2020 was actually a huge blessing because I wasn't ready to I played a couple of shows before the pandemic set in between the stroke and the pandemic. And in a weird way, it just kind of gave me an opportunity to chill. And I didn't want to chill. I'm not a patient person. I'm never going to be a patient person. I try to like listen to God, and I try to say this is supposed to happen, but the dog in me just wants to go and wants to run, and that was the way I felt through the pandemic. But looking back on it with hindsight, it's like that is exactly what I needed to go, and I needed to play in that barn, and I needed to be there with Alex, and we needed to, you know, we were going through infertility. We were going through, Alex was paralyzed below her breast for a period of months. And so I had to take care of her after she had just taught me how to walk again. So we went through those two things, and you being a new mom, you understand, like, you know, when you watch a woman go through the infertility journey of like the devil can really get on her, and he really did, about like you can't even, the lie is you can't even do what you're made to do.
Right.
And walking her through that after I'd had my traumatic brain injury and I'd had a lot of therapy, you know, hundreds of hours of therapy, and I was trying to figure out why me, why this, why all that, why is people passing me, like I'm meant to do this. You put this in my heart. Why am I struggling? I can't even walk. I can't even use the bathroom by myself now. Now my wife is going through this. Now my wife is going through infertility, and in the middle of that, my 16-year-old golden retriever died. You know, Ryder died, and I just felt like, because when you met me in Australia, my frequency and my confidence, like I worked on that. Like that high level, I always tried to be an energetic, high level person, and that's what gave me momentum. That's what gave me success, and I still believe that today. Reclaiming that confidence and reclaiming that, I call it my gait, my swagger. Like that was a hard as hell thing to do, and I could not have done it without my faith, without Alex, without people like you and Zach, and people that came to the barn and was like, hey dude, you look good. Hey dude, you look like keep going, you know, or whatever it was. It was super hard, and didn't really realize why it happened, but I'm slowly starting to, at 41 now, 5 and 6 years later, I'm starting to understand now, because now my fulfillment is he just gives me little things daily, you know, weekly sometimes, and you know, I'm still the same idiot, you know, I still bang my head against the wall and try to do stuff and try to force stuff into submission, but the more I can just kind of just understand that this is the way the wind's blowing and this is the way you need to go, like, and make things about my son and my family and my fans and other people, the better it gets for me. And I think like you've been close to that, you've seen that in yourself and in other people as well, and it's just better, you know. It's better to just, everybody wants to be the laid back chill guy. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not the laid back chilled guy. I'm laid back, I can chill out for a couple of, maybe a day.
I get that. I'm married to that version of that too, so I totally get that. Yeah. Do you think though that like the purpose was for you to be walking with him throughout it all?
Oh, for sure.
That is what it is now.
Always.
Like that's the complete change.
Always.
Yeah.
He's always trying to get closer to you. He's always trying to say, come here, my boy, come here. Like, let me show you how to tie a knot. Let me show you how to do this. And, you know, that relationship now is closer than ever. And it took, you know, it's not that I was this crazy rebellious person or this wayward thing. Like, I was a very spiritually driven person before the stroke, but man, now it's like through the good and the bad, you know, the seeds grow in the valley. You know, that's just, I think I've said that to you before, like seeds grow in the valley, and that's a valley. And I feel like the exciting part is the fact that in the Word and studying the Word, like your Job type situation of man, why would he, if I came through that, if Alex came through that, if our family came through that, then imagine the blessings that he has on the other side. Maybe not on this earth, maybe not in the form of number ones, maybe in the form of number ones.
Well,
I still see Madison Square Garden packed out, Red Rocks packed out, and we're on our way. We do that. We're building. We have more people coming to our shows now than we ever have.
And you've been blessed with a beautiful son and a new little one on the way too. And I feel like that in itself is like the blessing at the end of it all. Do you know what I mean? Just like, I'm sure it has changed. Not that you would have been a great present father otherwise, but I'm sure what you're able to bring to the table now as a dad, these kids are so lucky. The wisdom and experience now that you have to bring to the table for them for life, it's just complete. And the two of you together for your marriage too, going through that. I know Hurts the Healing kind of was birthed from all of that, and I'm bringing that up because of Hunts the Healing, and we're going to talk about all of that. That song impacted a lot of people in a lot of ways. I mean, that is just, if you haven't listened to it, guys, go and stream it, Hurts the Healing. It's just, it is just so relatable for any hard season that you are going through in life. Let's talk a bit about that and then get into Hunts the Healing.
Yeah. Well, all I wanted to do was write, you know, and we've released 2 records since that stroke, you know, with The Optimistic, the one that Hurts the Healing's on, and Low Country High Road was the release in September. But Hurts the Healing for me was when you realize that rock bottom has a basement, and you're like, that moment was when I could not squeeze Alex's hand laying in my left hand. And me calling that day my manager, who later on actually dropped me, because the pandemic had ensued. But that song, me just calling, being like, all right, well, the only good I can see coming to this is songwriting. I can write a song, so now I have a relentless muse, and I have this opportunity to help people. So book me some rights, you know, Mr. Publisher Man, Mr. Manager Man, let's do it. This is great. Drake, have you not been watching the news? The pandemic is saying, like, nobody's writing, nobody's coming to the publishing house, you know. Would you be willing to write on Zoom? And in my head, I remember when that came up, I was like, I don't know what Zoom is, but I'll write in smoke signals. I don't give a like. I'll write in Morse code. That was the perspective shift. It didn't, because people really having a hard time with Zoom, because it's hard enough to write a song in person.
Yeah.
So Zoom happens. The very first person that pops up is a girl named Allison Veltz Cruz and a guy named Aaron Chaffin. And I'd never met either one of them. And we start talking about how pain, that we talked about my injury, and we talked about how the pain that I'd went through, and the joy that I'd found in it was like, as long as I'm hurting, I'm alive. And as long as I know it takes pain to heal, so maybe the pain is the healing. And we kicked that around for a little while. And I think Aaron said, well, maybe the hurt is the healing. And we just said, maybe tears don't fall for nothing. And after that first line, I mean, it took maybe 45 minutes to write. And I remember singing that to Zach, my creative director, Knudsen, and singing it to him the first time. He was like, whoa. And it's just one of those songs that I needed, and the Lord knew I needed in that moment to like, Drake, you're a songwriter. Like, you can still do it. You can, because like, I'm telling you, my confidence, I was confident when I came out of the womb. Like, and it was stripped.
Yeah.
It was literally all stripped, because that bombastic kind of Eddie Vedder country guy that bounced around, that was gone. And so this song was just like God is so graceful, and he's so good in the fact that he knows when you just need a little bit. And he knew if he could give me just a little bit here, a little bit there, to keep the hope and keep the passion going. And that's what he continues to do today. You know, I mean, I've had good calls today. I've had some not so good calls today.
Yeah.
But overall, today's been a good day.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the beautiful part about grace and God. Like, he gives you what you need to live the life that's going to glorify him.
For sure.
And once you succumb to that, once you surrender to that, you realize that it's a lot better.
I love it. Welcome to the Songbird. This 4th floor luxury penthouse suite is located right in the heart of historic downtown Nashville. Professionally designed, decorated, and appointed with modern amenities, including an elevator, with spacious accommodations for up to 12 guests, including 4 en-suites and a bunk area perfect for couples, friends, or family traveling together. A beautiful large living space with a bar area, karaoke stage, poker, and shuffleboards. Walls of windows with beautiful views over the Cumberland River, downtown, and the Nashville skyline. You can even see the Batman building. With a short walk to the Honky Tonks on Broadway, concerts at Nissan Stadium, Bridgestone Arena, Ascend Amphitheatre, restaurants, farmers markets, shops, and so much more. For more information on how to book the Songbird, simply check out the QR code or head to their Instagram, thesongbird.nashville. Country Outdoors podcast is proudly presented by Nomad Outdoor. Guys, we've worked with Nomad Outdoor since the beginning of Country Outdoors, and there's a reason for that. They have the absolute best hunting apparel in the hunting industry. We have worn their clothing spring. We've worn their clothing in the fall. We've worn their clothing in the summer. We've worn their clothing on the ice. We've worn it everywhere. We absolutely love it. Guys, they're a Southeastern brand. They represent us. They represent sportsmen and women. Whether it's in the field or by the campfire, Nomad Outdoor has something for every occasion. So you'll come on, go check them out. Zach, myself, and the Country Outdoors family are proud to have Hawk Optics as a sponsor. When it comes to clarity, precision, and overall quality of the product, we have found Hawk Optics to be top of the line and field tested their products year round and had great success. You can check out this example here on the screen of my recent Colorado elk hunt, where I harvest this monster bull elk using the Frontier 30 SF hooked up onto my fix from Q. We'll get into hunts, the healing, but I think that has to start with your roots. So correct me if I'm wrong. You grew up in Muscle Shoals, right? Or outside of there?
So I grew up in this small town called Hoax Bluff in northeast Alabama.
Okay.
I grew up with, I call it the shadow of Muscle Shoals.
Okay.
As the sun's setting, it hits Muscle
5
Shoals.
o'clock for shadow.
Right. So, yes, I'm talking Coosa River that winds through the top half, basically the middle of Alabama. I would climb through 10 acres of crap to kill a wood duck. Like, it just was in me, and it's always been in me. Catching shell crackers, or, you know, I'm teaching my little boy how to fish right now, which is a fiasco, but it's fun. And I would tie these little just fishing line to a stick and put a jig on it, like a chartreuse jig. And the Cove Creek, the creek that I grew up on is called Cove Creek, and it emptied out into the Coosa River. And I would go pull that jig along the side of the bank and, man, just get, you know, just beat up by briars and everything else, but I would come home with, 20 fish. And it's just, I felt it a long time ago that, man, that there's this spiritual thing in me, that this primal thing that happens when I'm in the woods. And it's not that I'm this phenomenal hunter or phenomenal fisher. It's just, where are the animals at? What are the animals doing? What would I be doing if I was an animal? And my grandfather was a great trapper, great fisherman and hunter. And he taught me that, to think outside of the Instagram reel.
For sure.
To think outside of these animals they're just trying to stay alive, just like you are, And so that's where it started in Alabama. Really, we didn't have a lot of land. I had some church members with 4 or 5 acres here, or 5 acres here that I'd help bale some hay or pick some strawberries and see a couple of does in the back 40 and just try to figure out how to get on them. And, I was just always infatuated with it. So that's where the passion was born, is in that small Alabama, 40-acre tract, 10-acre tract, church going people that'd be like, yeah, you can come back here and try to kill these deer or these ducks. And man, I just like music, like I'm just as obsessed with it as music. And people kind of roll their eyes. I understand if you don't hunt or if you don't, it's not really the hunt it's the conservation of prepping that land and getting that animal a comfortable place to live. And then being there with my wife and Alex and Hawk as the bees. Alex is taking care of her bees, and there's some turkeys with some broods of turkeys, poults popping around up, and then there's a deer walking across, and it's all breathing, and I can feel this energy. And it's hippie. I can get into this as deep as you want, but that is life to me. That is so fulfilling to feel that, and to feel that life around me, and plants, and repurposing ferns is what I'm into. Not taking the ferns and planting them somewhere else to where it's cover, to where it makes the deer and turkeys even more comfortable. Native grasses and stuff like that.
No, I totally get that. So. And I remember when you first shot that deer that you'd been patterning at your property, or you were tracking him. You got him, didn't you? Yeah, you did. No, you didn't. You never got him.
The Hunt's the Healing Deer that I wrote the documentary about, I never killed.
Did you not kill him?
It was the Hunt.
Yeah.
That actually healed. Which I think it's awesome. I think it sucks that I didn't kill him.
I mean,
it's not awesome. But I made a lot of mistakes, and I had a lot of fun, but I rolled down there the first day in a wheelchair. By the time that deer, I don't know if he died. I don't know if he's still up. I don't know.
Had you named him?
Stoker.
That's it, Stoker. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know if that deer was even real.
Can you start? Let's start from the beginning on the story with the deer, though.
Yeah. So my wife, Alex's brother, is Jimmy. He's a big hunter, and he goes, let's put a game camera up behind the house. And I'm in a wheelchair. And I'm like, Jimmy, why? And I'm mad at God. I'm mad at everybody. This is months after the stroke. And man, I'm mad. Not mad at anybody in particular, just mad at God. And I don't know if anybody out there has ever been mad at God, but that's not a fun place. It's not a very high frequency place to be.
No. Yeah.
So we put the game camera up. He goes down there, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, guess what I looked at 500 times a day? Was that my phone? I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
2 weeks go by, Mary, and my phone is not with me, but 175-inch deer pops up, and I'm like, somebody's playing a trick on me. Like I'm shaking my phone, I reset it. I go down there and I look and I see the tracks and I see the thing. And I have to struggled. Like Alex had to go down there with me.
I remember when you texted us photos of the tracks and
And
stuff,
then-
and you were like, how big do you think this deer is?
And then Zach got out
Yeah.
at the barn to come to a Wednesday night therapy and goes, this is his track.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was as big as from my thumb to my pinky. That's how big it was. I'm not even exaggerating. And when I tell you that it sparked. So I went up to Alex and I said, I got to learn how to climb a ladder. She said, you got to learn how to walk. And I showed her this picture of this deer and she was like, you're not going to Kansas. I said, look at the picture. She said, oh my gosh, is that in our backyard? That is insane. I didn't even know that you could grow a deer that big. I didn't either. So I go to my therapist and I said, I've got to learn how to climb a ladder. He said, you got to learn how to walk. He's from Mississippi, he's actually from right outside where y'all live, in West Point. And put the camera up. Oh my gosh. Well, you got to go to Kansas? No, look at the picture. Oh my gosh, that's in your backyard. It was 100 yards from my back door. So we set a ladder stand up and we got on a VersaClimber and we started, not in that order, we got on a VersaClimber and started, you know what a VersaClimber is? And started learning how to move my quads simultaneously with my hands, which is still hard. And I could not walk before I saw that deer. And I had a checkup with Dr. Miracle. My brain surgeon's name was Dr. Miracle, real name. And about 3 months, and I'll never forget, he was like, what have you been doing? And because I was a hunter, I had purpose. I had primal.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to try to, harvest this animal. And I said, man, I've been hunting. And I'm going to carry this a little further, but the neuroplasticity, there's graphs that show neuroplasticity growing in your brain. And if you have a brain injury like mine, and there's a lesion in your brain, you can actually see those new neural passageways growing as long as you have the fruits of the Spirit. I'm paraphrasing a little bit because I'm me. But hope, passion, faith, kindness, like as long as you have a purpose, you can start to heal quicker, expedite the healing process. So, what have you been doing? You look great. You're walking. You're climbing. Your wife said you're driving now, and you didn't even you didn't ask anybody. You just started driving again, and now you're climbing a tree stand, and I was gonna pull the What are you doing? I'm hunting. Showed him the picture of the deer. He said, well, maybe the hunt's the healing.
He said that, did he?
No,
Oh.
I made it up. I'm saying I said that.
Yeah.
I said that. But
Yeah.
he said, well, whatever you're doing, keep doing.
Yeah.
And anybody out there that are not hunters or don't understand that we come from thousands of years of men and women that went out and hunted, and it's in us. It's in some people, it's not in some people, and I understand that. Understand that we live in 2025 or 4, whatever, 5. And I get it. We don't have to hunt to live. But it healed me. And it gave me something to do, and it was just another little tidbit that God gave me, because He knew I needed it. He knew I needed something to pursue, and I pursued that, and it helped me get back to stage. It helped me be a better husband. It helped me prepare for being a father. It helped me be all kind of stuff, and I never killed the deer, and I tracked it all over the place. And now I'm trying to buy the land that I tracked it to.
So the healing continues.
It's an obsession. It's an obsession
Yeah.
that you've realized with your husband and you, it is in you. It's in you. and I've made more mistakes out there messing with these animals and preparing them, but I know that deer had a purpose. So we set out and documented the whole thing. You know Zach, you know how talented he is. My buddies at Realtree, my buddies at Federal, at Bagara, and a couple of other sponsors. It doesn't matter about and Banded, you know. I just took the people that I'd hunted with for years, and I told them this story. They're like, "Oh my gosh, people need to hear that." And do you remember the Colonel and the Fox?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you were Alabama or Auburn fan or a Mossy Oak or a Realtree fan. Like, you had to be a fan of that documentary.
For sure.
That's saved the American wild turkey. And The 10th Legion's an amazing book. I would recommend that highly to anybody that is not even a hunter. Just read it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So we are storytellers. I'm so lucky to even be alive. So I just this passion started growing to tell this story. And some people would be like, well, man, you got 4 or 5 million hunters out there. You got tens of millions of people in music. Why would you choose to tell the story through hunting? Because that's going to shut you off with your Hollywood elite or your left. And I was like, hadn't even thought about that. That was maybe I should. Maybe a smarter person would. All I know is that I was raised on the Coosa River, and I've felt the wind blow me the right way my whole life. And this is a story that healed me. This is a story of making it that will give me an opportunity to teach, my son to hunt and my son to do more than hunt, just to be a man and to how to treat a woman and how to treat an animal and how to treat land and how to pick up your trash and how to build a fire and change a tire. The stuff that it taught me to pursue that deer. I couldn't even walk, and now I'll do 115 shows this year. I'm opening with Riley Green and Ella Langley, and I'm, good luck catching up with me. I'm going. And it took a little bit because I was in a bad way. And it took that deer, and it took that, every now and then Alex would kind of kick me and be like, go. And every now and then she'd be like, come here, just sit here and hang out. So it's a push and pull thing, and we documented the story, and it's coming out.
When's it coming out?
So the timeline right now is August, kind of mid-August 2025 this year. Are
you doing a premiere here?
I'm going to do a premiere here. The idea is to do a premiere here and a premiere in Denver. And a lot of people are like, well, why do you want to, not a lot of people, a couple of my team were like, well, that's why do you want to do a thing in Denver? Well, that's exactly why, because we shot this in a kind of bear attack Revenant style. We shot it like a movie. It's gut wrenching, and it's happy, it's sad, it's up and down, and the actual hunt is a big part of it, but the actual animal and the kill is not a big part of it at all.
Is it doco style or is it dramatic?
It's both.
Yeah.
It's both.
So reenactments and doco.
Right.
Cool.
There's acting in it. There's you know how talented Zach is and Holt Ingalls.
Yeah.
Holt is amazing, and I met him through my buddies at Tyler Jordan at Realtree, and I was, me, I'm very outspoken. You're not gonna have to figure out what I'm thinking. If it sucks, I'm gonna say it sucks. And I did not want a documentary. I love Michael Waddell just did his podcast. I did not want a typical hunting video.
For sure.
I grew up on Buckmasters. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I love the stuff, the hunting public. I love Seek One. I love that YouTube stuff. That's not what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to showcase in a way that had never been showcased the healing power of hunting and the healing power of finding a purpose in the pursuit. And do it in a poetic style. I'm a writer. I'm a Christian. I'm a businessman. I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter. I'm all of this stuff. Let's write and let's forge these words into something that makes it easy to understand. It doesn't matter if you're from Boulder, Colorado, or San Francisco, or Hokes Bluff, Alabama. It doesn't matter. You're going to understand that this deer in the pursuit of this is a primal right and is a primal instinct that clicked in me. And you can see it. You can see it because Zach captured it. Holt captured it. And it's not me acting. It's me struggling to climb a ladder with frost on the rung and to understand my left foot has pretty severe drop foot, and if you slide off the fourth rung of that ladder and fall back down and your shoulder subluxes out, your wife's pregnant. You're not going to be able to help her have the baby. And that's what was going on during this time. So where do you push into that danger and where do you pull back? That's what the document is. Where do you say, nope, I've got to go because I am a hunter, I am a provider, and this is stupid. Why are you up here? It's -5 degrees. You can't feel your foot to get down. I had to call people sometimes to come up with a buddy heater and hold
Not
it.
pregnant Alex.
I mean, no. I mean, she would do that. But and hold it to my foot to warm it back up to where I could get, I mean, it just, it's in you. It's in you.
All right, guys, I have a confession to make. I have a terrible sense of direction, and it's no wonder I haven't got lost in the woods or eaten by a bear at this stage, but there's a reason for that, and it's because I have onX Hunt. onX Hunt is incredible. It's an incredible mapping feature, and it has helped me navigate my way out of some pretty sketchy areas using the compass feature. I've been able to get back to my truck. I've been able to drop pins and waypoints to be able to coordinate how to get to A to B, to be able to find that turkey that I saw on the road and knock and get permission. Guys, though, if you really want to know who's a fanatic at dropping pins, it's my husband, Zach. If you look in his phone, he has thousands of these pins. If it was the 1920s, he'd be able to trade them and get some money out of them. But don't take my opinion. Go and download onX today and check it out for yourself. Good luck this fall. When you think of the biggest hunting shows, the most legendary hunting shows in outdoor television, what channel do you think of? Outdoor Channel. Country Outdoors is very proud of our partnership with Outdoor Channel, which started during the pandemic in 2020 with our turkey tour, and which has now evolved into a popular adventure series 4 years later. We are available on all Outdoor Channel digital outlets, including My Outdoor TV. And guys, they're giving out a free subscription to My Outdoor TV, so go and check it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have certainly been there plenty of times where I have gone to draw back on my bow and my fingers are so numb that I'm just hoping that I actually can push the thumb release.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know I totally get that. That is so exciting, Drake. I cannot wait for this to come out. Is this going to be open to the public? Or how is this happening for this premiere?
Oh, the launch?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
You haven't figured that out yet?
I'm not sure. Maybe. We might figure out some way to do it. We're in the process of building it. I mean, some of my team's here today, and there's nothing like this, I don't think, that's been, look, it is what it is. It's my story, but how do you put it all into this, a rising tide floating all ships, shed light on some stuff? It might be episodic too. We might do something where we bring some troops in and help them with like taking their mind, because I know if you can get your mind off of the thing that ails you and get it focused on something bigger than you, whether it be game or fish or an adventure. I'm going to Alaska. I mean, how many times have you prepared and just had that in your head, so it gives you something to look forward to, and that's powerful. That's healing. So it might be episodic in nature, but right now we've got about an hour-long documentary style deal, and this sucker's going to be out in August, and we've kind of been willing the way.
You'll do the premiere, and then are you then going to pitch it to like Amazon, Netflix? Is it going to go on YouTube? Like, what's the?
We'll manifest. Yeah, I mean that's the idea. Yeah. Is use our buddy at Mitch Petrie at Outdoor Channel. Yeah. He's a huge supporter and has heard the story. All of our sponsors. You know, the outdoor community is a big, small community.
For sure.
You know, and YouTube's, you know, being out there with Riley and Ella, and then being Alabamians and hunters, and like, you know, Eric Church and Morgan Wallen own Field and Stream now.
Yep.
Well, that's a, you know, I've had a dream of, I love Field and Stream, and I mean that's another outlet. So you see just these little things. We're building a distribution mechanism with my team to get it out there, and I'm gonna go where it's celebrated and not tolerated, just celebrated and just see where it lands. I want, you know, my goal is 30-40 million people to see it.
Yeah.
And I know that when you put it in God's hands and when you put it out there, that, you know, it goes YouTube, Outdoor Channel, Hulu, Netflix, Amazon. Sky's the limit. Whatever. Yeah. There's a lot of different ways that we can go about doing it, and I think you hear a little bit of left and right in my voice because I don't know exactly how it'll pan out, but I know it'll pan out.
Yeah, he'll open up the right doors.
Absolutely.
I do want to say, like, as you were telling that story before, and it was something that I hadn't really like vocalized or like even really put in together, but as you were telling that story, it was reminding me a little bit of, so I just did this stag hunt in Australia, and I kind of thought it at the time, and then it just like clicked in my head. But so where my farm is in Australia, it's on the top of the Great Dividing Range. And, you know, my dad died 5 years ago, very suddenly from pancreatic cancer. And he bought that farm for us as a place for us to always go to escape the city and have healing and peace. Every time we were in trouble in high school, getting up to mischief, whatever, he'd airlift us down to the farm, get us out on the motorbikes, get us out doing farm work, hacking thistles, getting the cattle up, etc. And anyway, so this year we found ourselves, and the farm was always where I found myself going to for those places. So this a couple months ago, I was able to stag hunt in Australia, and it was on the opposite end of the mountain range. So it's called the Great Dividing Range, and it runs through the entire east coast of Australia, this massive mountain range. And I found myself stag hunting on the northern side of the Great Dividing Range. And the morning that we went out, it was just this, you know, stag, they come from Scotland, and so the natural environment is just that low mist, just epic mountains and all of this. And generally that area of Brisbane, you've been to Queensland before, it's pretty like eucalyptus trees, bushy, yada yada, like very kind of like bright, etc. Right. But when we got out there, it was like this storm was coming in, and it came in, and it was we went out that morning and it was like dripping, and we looked over and it was like low mist everywhere, and it looked as picturesque as you could possibly believe. It looked like you were hunting in Scotland. And I like from that moment thought, I know God wanted me to have this because this mountain range connects back to my farm and my dad. And it was just one of those moments where it was like, so we had this hunt, they were roaring all over the mountains. I didn't get the first stag that we set up on. It's one of the few times I'm not hunting with Zach either. And so I always find when I'm not hunting with Zach, it's a challenge for me because I don't have him whispering in my ear certain confidence points and things like that. We eventually see this really beautiful stag and we make a stalk on him, go down through a creek. My producer fell in the creek, got his boots soaked, hiked up, got to about 150 yards, and I belly crawl up onto this rock with my rifle, and I set up, and I'm by myself. I don't have Zach. The boys are back, and I shoot the stag and get him down. And it was, I don't know why, as you were telling that story, I was like, that was my Hurts the Healing for my dad, and it was weird how it connected like that. But that the ability to be hunting on the mountain range of the same farm that my dad bought for my family, that was always my healing place. And now I'm a grown woman without my dad, and I've just shot this elk, and it was like a stag, and it was just like this moment where I was like, that was my Hurts the Healing moment. Yeah.
That is, it's beautiful, and I completely can relate to you of feeling. I mean, your dad was there. You know, you can feel him in those places. And bottom line is, I always say, if you believe you're healing, you're healing. If you believe your dad was there, if you could feel him there, and you think that story, then that's all life is. That's all we have are those things and talks. And you know, my grandfather, I've mentioned him multiple times in this podcast, but for some reason, red birds flying right were lucky to him. And I was taught that if you see a red bird, you say, red bird, please fly right. Bring a big buck within my sight. And been doing it since I was a kid. And he passed away in, you know, like, I think 99, you know, so long time ago. And me and my dad went down to Alabama, down to years later, down to where I learned how to hunt. It's basically York, Alabama, right across the Mississippi line from Meridian, Mississippi, right just the black belt of Alabama. And my number has always been 34. We know, whether it be sports or, I love 3s and 4s. I love 7s because of the holy reference or whatever. But I convinced Dad to sit with me in this blind, and we're sitting there and we're talking about my grandfather. And redbirds aren't. There's a good bit in Alabama, but in this part, I had not seen any. It's middle of winter, and it's this green field. You know, we're hunting this green field, and redbird comes and flies down, and I laughed with Dad. I said, redbird, please fly right. Bring a big buck within my sight. Redbird flies right. Cool. Well, we're sitting there talking, and we're hunting this deer, and we had not seen much for activity. Well, we counted. Redbird, I promise you, redbird lands, hits the ground. 2 redbirds, 3 redbirds, 4 redbirds. We start counting. We're like, oh my gosh, 5 redbirds, 6 redbirds, 34 redbirds land in the field, and they're all right in front of us. And I said, do you see any more? I said, there are 34 redbirds. And I'm telling you, at that time, all 34 redbirds flew right. At the same time that we said, my dad was like, well, your dad's here. At that same time, we went, wow. And it was like, that's what the outdoors does for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's those stories like the stag and feeling your dad and seeing, like, that's the good stuff, and that's the spirit of the wild, and that's the primal instinct that I'm talking about, that cures brain aneurysms and that cures cancers, and that it really does. I'm not saying you can go out there with stage 4 cancer and you're going to be cured, but I guarantee if you got stage 4 cancer and somebody goes, and you're passionate about it, and somebody goes, you want to go on an elk hunt, and you say yes to that elk hunt, you're going to prepare for that elk hunt, and that's going to prolong your life in some way. Maybe not. Maybe you die of cancer. Maybe you do. But it's going to enrich, maybe not prolong, but enrich your life for sure, because of the pursuit. And I just thought it was worth capturing, and I thought, Drake, you're a storyteller. Why not tell a story like this? And it's turned into this. I love Hemingway. I love Roosevelt. I love all the Steve Rinellas, the writers, the outdoor writers. And we wrote this in a way, that I think Spielberg will be proud of the, I'm not trying to make it bigger than it is, but I think that we wrote, it's true, it's my story, but I wrote it in a way that it's very simplistic, It's like, man, this is the primal instinct of God. This is like God winking at you. When you see, this front moving in and you've just prayed for it. When you see 333, 444, 1111, I mean, hunting like anything, like it's not really superstition. It's things, it's the opposite. It's the faith that he put these signs in your path to give you, like, how many times have you been like, there's nothing out here? And then you see one feather or one thing, you're like, there is something out here. You hear one gobble, you hear one cluck, and you keep going. So that's the point. That's the reason that I did what I did.
It's awesome. Well, I cannot wait to see it. Hopefully maybe I can get Zach and I can have a pre-screening.
For sure.
Yeah. I would love that. Thank you so much for sharing your story as well. I think, it will help a lot of people, and hopefully the film will as well.
Yeah. Hey, mine and Zach's hunts out, by the way.
So Drake and Zach just hunted turkey on Country Outdoors, and that is out now. You can watch that on Outdoor Channel Digital. You can watch that on YouTube, My Outdoor TV, Mossy Go, Fast channels. Go and check it out now. They had a good time. I'm glad that you guys got to hunt together, because you are actually very similar when it comes to that type of stuff. And it's funny, like Zach always says, and you've said it kind of in your own way, he's like, I'm just wired different. And he says it all the time when we're talking about, especially when he goes and hunts with other people. People like, maybe it's a random person he's taken hunting or whatever it is, and not you though. Not you. He said Drake and I are actually wired pretty similar, but he always says that I'm just wired different. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, sitting down with Michael Waddell it's the same. It's the same thing. Like, they're hunters, and in tribes or whatever, like dating back, like it's pretty easy to point out the hunters. Like, it's just in them. It's not that they're better or they're alpha or they're more or they're less. They're just hunters. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're in 2025 and we're in the middle of, there's the AT&T building right there, and I'm a hunter. I'm sitting here and I'm a hunter. I'm a musician, and I've got all these songs that come from this, and but I'm a hunter.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap it up with a couple of questions. These are rolled really tight, sorry.
It's all right. I'm used to it.
If you can.
Most memorable moment.
In your career or the woods? Or and?
So the most memorable moment, I think the most memorable moment in my career was the benefit for the brain at the Ryman, having that sold out. And after coming through all this, I mean, yes, Fenway Park was so memorable, these places, but like to be in the mother church and go through what we went through and then come out the other side and have a lot of Nashville support there, have it sold out, and just another little God wink of like, keep going, So benefit for the brain, we're doing it again this year. I don't know when this will be out, but November the 17th at the Ryman, and it's it's an epic time. We're raising money for just, for all these AVMs for traumatic brain injuries. I think we partnered with Creative Vets, with CPI last year, which was the stem cell research facility that I was with, that I still go to, and then big Make-A-Wish, which is 3 great ones. So that's probably the most memorable in my music career. In the woods, oh man, there's so many. I'll go to after hunting that deer for a long time, and slap dab in the middle of the pandemic, Riley Green called me and said, "Do you want to go to Honey Break?" This is a long answer, by the way. Is that okay?
No, it's great.
I said, "Yeah," but I meant no. No, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Honey Break with you. Like, those are my friends, and me and him are great buddies now.
Yeah.
But I this was my mentality. No, I don't. I'm good. And really, the reason I didn't want to go is because I knew it was a wader hunt, and I couldn't get waders on without the help of really my dad or Alex. And so I didn't want to show that weakness. So I got up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning and went down to the locker. Alex was like, "You should go." Sorry, let me back up. I didn't want to go to Honey Break with Tyler and Riley and all these hunters. And Alex goes, "Quit being a baby. Like, just go. Who cares?" Well, ended up going. So I went down to the boot room at 3:30 in the morning and started trying to get my waders on. 3:30 turned to 4:30, 4:30 turned to 5. People started trickling down, and I'm sweating, sitting in the boot room, and I can't get their new waders. I'm like yanking on them, pulling them on. I'm like cussing, and Riley walks in, and he said, "Hey man, what's going on?" I said, "Man, I've been trying to get these waders on. I'm having trouble." And he walks over, and basically we sat there, and he picks me up and shakes me like a sack of groceries, and we get the waders on, and I kept them on for like 2 days. And it broke me. It broke my competitiveness in a great way. And it was like, man. And it was just cool. It's in the Hunt's the Healing too, because why did I want to hide that vulnerability? Why did I want to do that? To show that I was a man, that I could get my own boots on? Well, yeah, of course. Everybody understands why I wanted to hide the fact I couldn't. So to answer your question, we killed 9 different species of ducks, limited ducks that morning, had some cigars, had a good time. Didn't even know Honey Break offered deer. Went out there and killed a 146, 147 with Drew Keith. Forged a lifetime friendship with my brother Drew. And it just shows like I almost didn't go. And Alex kicked me out the door and said, "You got to go. You got to go." And so that was my most memorable woods story. Was that one.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Okay.
Uno más. Or more than one. I don't know. Ooh, best quote you've ever heard. Man, I'm a quote guy. I love quotes. It's not a quote, it's a poem. I love the tallest timber does not grow with ease. The stronger the wind, the tougher the trees. And it's part of there's a longer poem. But it's basically like, the stronger the wind, the deeper the roots. You know? It's really good. I can't remember what it's called, but that's okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. I was saying to.
I just reached in that to get another.
I thought you put. I thought you
Y'all,
put the
I'm going crazy.
paper in there.
I'm literally going crazy.
You're good.
Oh my gosh.
No, I was. Poems are interesting because they are very personal. People choose poems or quotes. When somebody tells you a quote, it's very personal. You remember things that you personally relate to.
Yeah. Yeah, I posted yesterday that the poet that always searches for the perfect words never writes a poem. The businessman that searches for the perfect situation, the entrepreneur that searches for the perfect situation never does any business. The athlete that waits for the perfect time to train never trains.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and on. So I love quotes. I hang them all over the place. What do you want to be remembered for? Man. I mean, I'm trying to think of the poetic way to say it, but it doesn't really. Just a man that loved Jesus, a man that gave everything he had while on this earth. Every time he had the opportunity to give anything, he just gave it, and in all of that you would see Jesus through it. That you would see that I am truly not even trying. It's just who I am, and just the question says, what do you want to be remembered for? A guy that gave everything every single time he got the opportunity to give anything, and then the cross. Not and then the cross, but
And the cross.
yeah, and the cross.
I think that's perfect. That's a perfect way to end the podcast. Drake White, thank you very much for coming on Country Outdoors Podcast. Guys, I don't know if Hunts the Healing is out yet, but when it comes out, please stream it wherever it is. Go and check out Drake in concert. You can head to drakewhite.com. Is that right? Is it drakewhite.com?
Drakewhite.com.
You can head to drakewhite.com, go and check him out in person, stream his music. If you have a story that connects with this, please comment, share it with us, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
Perfect. That was
Enjoyed
awesome.
it.